I suppose you heard about this brand new Aslapisco FTK that won the LCS? Yeah, of course you did. Every yugituber is saying how broken it is, and that it's a tier 1 deck, really. Yep, this deck is definitely unfair. You might have heard people saying that it can play through like 2 or 3 hand traps, including Nibiru, like it was nothing.
Hey, what the? I've never seen an FTK that can FTK through 2 hand traps literally every single turn.
I'm sorry to inform you that it's absolutely not the case. And the reason is so simple that you might have forgotten it. And that this deck is literally one of the most overrated I have ever seen. No, don't get me wrong. The deck isn't bad, in my opinion. But it definitely isn't a tier 1 deck, and I will explain why only with my experience as an FTK player. And this deck is way more fragile than you may think. No, I really never thought I will ever make this type of content on my channel, and I believe it will be the first and the last time I do this. Honestly, I hesitated multiple times about making this video, but seeing all those people completely lose their mind for something that fragile was honestly kinda cringe. Not gonna lie. So I think it must be addressed. So here is the reason why. Firstly, the deck cannot play through more than one hand trap or any form of disruption by default. In fact, this combo has a linear part being the final burn of the second explode rocket. Now I will reveal the biggest weakness of my own build, which is similar to this combo, without mentioning the odd counters which are imperm for me as I'm playing under Appaloosa, or super poly for him as he isn't properly FTK, or any form of Anewata. So as I was saying, the biggest weaknesses of Appaloosa? Well, you guessed it right, it's a once per chain. That means that whether it is Appaloosa or Herald of the Arclight, we only have one negate to protect ourselves. So let's take the most generic and least impactful entrap possible, like Ash Blossom and Veiler. The same thing works with any double hand traps or any double way to disrupt your opponent's plays, even simple back rows like Crackdown or any form of negate. You might see Thrift Gaming saying that it does nothing.
How to defeat it? Because you can't.
Which I don't blame him, since he is learning the deck.
I know, I'm the Pendulum God, I'm not the Dragon God.
So this is normal for him to not see at first its obvious part. Well, our friend here isn't ready for what will happen if we stop the access to Herald by getting rid of the tokens of Linkross by any way possible, and then wait for the linear part. Guess what? You died by putting all your resources for nothing. GG well played. And don't tell me that the deck has backup plans. If I let you resolve your entire combo until the end, assuming you don't fizz the remaining cards of my hand and you still have extenders, I doubt you will prefer to make the burster lock instead of FTKing. And I'm especially referring to the people who compare it with some Danger Dark Wall FTK or Pendulum FTK, which has backup plans by default, being included in the archetype itself. Basically, with all the cards doing the same thing together, it becomes a non-linear FTK, which is a completely different game plan, kinda similar to how Adam Anticipator makes the M boards. Now, while talking about Herald, it's the same case for me, and Konami really understood that. The only way to play a linear combo deck that consists of putting all your resources in something crazy like an FTK is to have a generic access to any form of disruption, here being Appaloosa or Herald. And I think this is the whole reason why Appaloosa is, as you can see, a once per chain. But the things that makes Appaloosa still like 70% better than Herald is that even if it doesn't protect you from impermanence, it's still ridiculously generic compared to Herald, which means that no matter how many times you will disrupt me, if I have extenders, I can still make it compared to him and bait one more hand traps by default. Now let's say they nibiru you after you make your link cross. Well, guess what? You will not only lead a specific extender being a tuner to make needle fiber, but also a dragon extender with it because you already used your link cross effect, so what are you really gonna do with only needle fiber plus the red rose dragon? Unless you open extra extender, but this also works with World Legacy Guard Dragons. And to be fair, they said that it was 50%, and I'm not gonna deny it, but then I really don't know how they should calculate that. Like, compared to him, what 3-axis needs, for example, is basically any way to get 4 monsters on the field, which is basically only tour guide or plants plus 1 extender, and any other possible ways involving specific interaction between all the extender we play. Well, I can guarantee you that I can play through Nibiru with that without needing extra resources at all, and without needing extra discount. No, but still, even with all those points, it is already pretty good that this FTK has a basic protection from at least low impactful hand traps. And you are honestly one of the few people I saw doing this outside of me, the people of the World Chat Discord, and someone who got inspired by my Aslapiscu I made like 4 months ago. Basically, if you are a linear combo player, I'm sorry to learn you that winning an event is entirely luck involved. Because even if you play a shit amount of extenders, you cannot realistically play it through more than 2 disruption by default. And even if that increases the chance of playing through Nibiru, which I'm doing. But on the other hand, playing less extender in order to play Antraps is even more luck involved, because it basically means that you have to open them against most deck to even be able to play. At least in 3-axis, you someone have a chance of baiting like the negates and going into the nightmare and break a little bit of thing, but like that thanks to how broken Sherbini is for link climbing. But then seriously, if you don't throw hand traps, what do you do? Like what? I mean, you can extend, but as I said, your combo just died to 2 disruption. And yeah, I mean, you can OTK and all, but I don't think a lot of the meta decks will like let you OTKing like it was nothing if you open 0 hand traps. And yeah, I mean, I can say the same thing for me. Like, yeah, I can OTK if I want to, but then it needs a shit amount of resources like you. Now, before you answer with, well, if you say that, that basically means that every game is luck involved. I said that it was only concerning linear combo players. Decks that are randomized like Adam Anticipator or have multiple games planned like Eldritch doesn't count. Now, to illustrate what I said, I will show this comment Tristan made about his deck, answering to someone telling him that winning the event with his deck is luck involved. Honestly, I was quite shocked because I didn't know he would answer like that. I don't think any video can prove mathematically if an FTK is good or not. Even if we increase as much as we can the consistency and as much as we can the probability to play through entraps and any other disruptions, I mean, yeah, you don't have to forget the opponent's deck. Like, how do you play going second? You have to open your side deck cards, being your hand traps or board breaking cards in the case of 3-axis. If you see every result that was made by combo players playing linear combo decks with at least a somewhat protection in their combos, you will see that most of the hand that they open during the matchups doesn't necessarily match the probability it should have. I will show you the example. I only saw the semi-final and the final of the guy who played the FTK. He said in this video that opening 2 hand traps alongside the FTK is 16%. So during the semi-finals, he lost the dice roll against an Eldritch player, and against him in the first hand, he opened 1 hand traps plus the FTK, but it still lose to Nibiru anyway. He had token collector anyway. During the game 2, he FTK'd easily through like 1 hand traps. I mean, still congrats because it's already pretty good. During the game 3, he went going second against the Eldritch player, and guess what? He opened Ash plus Veiler plus the FTK, which is, again, 16% chances. Plus, the headless player actually was able to play through the first hand traps. That means that he will still be able to throw something like VFD, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, like, you can't deny that it was kinda your only chance to win this game.
There's the second one. Ash Blossom! Oh my god, that's big. I can only imagine how salty he is right now.
For the finals, being against the Adamant Anticipator player, I will also show that it's the same thing for the guy who plays 3 axes during the YCS Ultrage. And I will show that even if his deck was kinda good, and even if this version of FTKing with Athapisku isn't necessarily that bad because it can play through at least one disruption, basically you don't have luck, you lose. Guess what? During the finals, game 1, he lost the dice roll, but he opened 2 hand traps plus the FTK and 1 hand traps being nibiru. And it was only, again, 60%. And it was enough to stop him because nibiru was able to like get rid of a pulsar by bottle. But then the game 2 happened and guess what? He again opened the FTK, but also 1 hand traps. It's not necessarily the fact that he opened 1 hand traps plus the FTK that is crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's still 60%. So it's okay, I guess. Yeah, the Adamantis Butter straight up bricked, I guess. Like, he wasn't able to play through only 1 disruption. And everyone was kinda shocked, to be honest. And yeah, that's how it went.
It was literally just Tristan's, like, yes, Pranker Top in 60 cards. Pranker Top, Imperm, 4 starters, what? Show us the quick launch. Show us the quick launch. Chaos Space, even better. Wow, dude, 4 starters, 2 side cards every game.
He didn't necessarily win because of his combo. He won because of opening those side deck cards that really were enough by himself to stop his opponents. And I will show that it's the same thing with Matteo Bertoletti. That will be kinda funny, not gonna lie. During the top 8, he went against a Spiral, going second.
So my god, he just passed. Excuse me? He passed. He passed. His hand is awful. So okay, so, I suppose.
Easy. He still was able to play through 2 DD Crow, but his opponent really hit anything he could see. Like, I guess it's normal because he doesn't know the deck. He just activated straight up when he saw some targets. So, yeah, that's kinda cringe. Well, while you can say that this deck being unknown helped him to top in the LCS, you cannot deny that now that you know how to counter it, there is literally no way it can play through 2 negates. And now that you know its biggest weaknesses, do you really see it being completely viable? It's already a lot less astonishing than before, not gonna lie. Second round, going second against the Spiral, he opened Dark Ruler No More. The thing is, the chances are really low. I think if I remember right, it's around like 26%. But like, you will see that this card is really sticked to his hand through the whole event. That's crazy. Not that it necessarily was always in its hand, but it always was in his hand going second against Spiral. That was crazy. But if I remember well, he still lost this second round because he couldn't play in the grind game against it. And that's another problem of the end board, but yeah, an FTK is just better, I guess. If you put all the resources in it, like, why don't you just end the games already if you can't keep up after? But for that moment, that was pretty normal because the support card like Needle Faber or anything related to Link Rose or anything that can help to turbo out some specific combo pieces didn't existed yet, and Ib was banned at that moment, so we didn't have a lot of things to play with. So I think it's just that the end boss was the only possible way to play. And then game 3 he just comboed, and yeah, like he had order and everything, so his opponent couldn't activate Dark Ruler no more. But yeah, game 3 he went first and won, which is exactly what would happen if you play an FTK and your opponent doesn't open hand traps. The thing is, he shouldn't have been able to play first during the third round in the first place because, yeah, during the game 1, the spiral starter bricked, which kinda reversed the dice roll. Like, if you win a game going second in the first game, then it basically means that it's as if you won the dice roll at the beginning, because you will be able to play first in the third game. But if you want me to go into further details about this and the mindset of playing an FTK, then yeah, I can definitely do that video. It's pretty easy to do, and there might be a lot of things you want to learn. Now let's watch the semifinals. Game 1, he won the dice roll and he straight up won. Like, yeah, that's normal, I guess. Game 2, guess what? He opened Darkula no more. Yeah, fuck. The probabilities even, if like they can be accurate sometimes, and they really help into improving the consistency of the deck. The thing is, like, in a competitive event, anything can happen. It's really luck based, and like, you opening the specific card that can help you to destroy your specific matchup while your deck isn't able to do that by itself is kinda luck involved. Like, there is no way you can deny it, because there was also no way he could have get rid of this spiral board, because it basically was its only out. Now, I will not go into the final game, because basically he lost the dice roll against the sellout player, won second, lost, and then when he goes first, he plays through a nibiru, but as it's an end board, like, it was much weaker than expected. Anyway, he shouldn't even have made it to the finals at the first place. Now that we point out how stupid opinions are made about combo decks, because yeah, a lot of people tend to forget how crazy the hands of the people who topped are every time. Let's talk about the best parts, being the yugitubing in general. It is understandable that when you never play a linear combo deck full of extenders, that really seems astonishingly good at first. But here are several things I would like to mention. I don't want to create any dramas or anything, but it's just to prove that this really helped incredibly to like get in the people's mind that this FTK is absolutely crazy, while it is kinda, but no, not. I mean, yeah, as I said, are you still scared of the FTK now that I revealed everything that could be revealed on it? Do you really see this kind of deck consistently topping in an event now? So here's my point. If you saw the tier list Simo made, he put the Aslapiscu FTK, as I said, in tier 1. So the problem with that is that he did about like 3 videos basically saying the same thing but with different titles. It can really help making false ideas on a deck, because when something broken appears every time, it was the same thing for 3 axes. And then it just disappeared because it was true, it was entirely luck involved. Even if it was good, it wasn't as broken as people said. So I really don't like to put it like that, but even if Simo has a lot of knowledge on like the meta and everything, because he's always analyzing it, I don't think like he has any ideas of competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know if he played it, but anyone who is somewhat into competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Knows that his content is kinda like worthless. He's really over-exaggerating things right now, like he's shown that ABC FTK, and like, not gonna lie, it was kinda original and all. The thing is, this FTK requires to open 2 specific cards and have 2 extra cards to discard, while knowing it will just die to 1 hand traps and it will take almost your entire hand to do. Well, maybe don't do that. I think it's also a lot related to the Pro Play Tour. The fact that he really tends to like exaggerating the 8 on Hulky Fiber. No, don't get me wrong, I don't think I even have the right to say something about this, as I may be one of the guys who like abused it the most in the earth, but literally releasing FTKs about it that aren't even that good and think, oh, it's broken, look, it's Hulky Fibrox, that doesn't even, it's related to Hulky Fibrox into an FTK, like, yeah, That's cool, but you're never gonna win anything with that, not gonna lie. Nonetheless, it really helps this deck to being really overrated, and same thing for all the yugitubers that will start playing. I really don't want to be mean to all the people who made result in this video during any tournaments with a linear combo deck. Of course not! I don't want to be mean, because it would be dumb to do that while my deck literally consists into the same thing. And still, congrats for your results. And I really wouldn't show you my biggest weakness, like if it was nothing. But I think it was necessary to mention all of that to hopefully make people realize that it's not that hard to play against. Also, if you don't want to listen to my opinion only by saying that he made result and me not, well, basically I'm playing the same deck of the YCS guy, but with just a better win condition, so it's literally the same thing. Not to mention the fact that several people on the World Series Discord, including me, bubbled in large events such as YCS or online competition. For example, Kkid in YCS with some kind of Crystal level 3 Axis Turbo. To be honest, even if you don't listen to what I said about the deck and the way to counter it, and you still think that with it you can play through like 3 Disrupt with that deck, well, I mean, I don't care anyway, it will be just free win for the people who actually listen to the video. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope to catch you on in my next video. Bye!